Well, Cub, congrats on the win and the career. I guess now that all this is past you, both the fight week, the win, the career, everything. Can you just kind of put into words what you're feeling right now?
I guess there is fairy tale endings.
Did that get to you at all, or is that just kind of fight build and everything? Like when Nate's like, there's no fairy tales in here and this and that. Like, is that what he's supposed to be saying, or did you actually just kind of take
N-
an issue with it?
Nah, not at all. I honestly was feeling real bad for him. You know, uh, I was getting all the press and feel like I deserve it, but at the same time, there's a fight and it takes two. And I honestly was feeling kind of bad. I apologized to him about it, and is what it is. I've been on the other side.
And how did the fight play out compared to what you had planned for? Because obviously, we've heard from fighters when they announce their retirement that when they don't have another fight that they're going to have to look to after the fact, they can start throwing things that maybe they've never had the opportunity to throw in there. So I guess how did the fight play out compared to game plan and expectations?
I mean, I was making like adjustments last minute. I was just telling my team I kind of kept it to myself. I really wasn't feeling that good today, just my throat, and so I was telling them I'm gonna warm up really light, and I know my cardio is really good, but I don't want to. I know that he's a slow starter and that he picks it up late in the fight, and I just kept having like fears that I was gonna hit a wall and then he was gonna take over. So I was like, I'm gonna pace myself. I'm gonna be real, accurate and patient, and that was all kind of last minute stuff because of the way I was feeling. I felt fast and ready, but I didn't feel like I could go 1,000 miles an hour for 15 minutes.
And at the press conference, when it was brought up like this is going to be your last fight and everything, you said I don't want to talk about retirement anymore. At that point, did any part of you regret announcing that this was your last fight? Because we've heard in other sports, like when the basketball players or football players get the retirement tour, every stop they go to, there's like a big video package. Halfway through the season, they're like, "Oh God, I wish I didn't announce this because it's just constant." Did you feel that at all during this fight week?
100%. On one hand, it was, now it's like, I'm so glad I did it, but while it was happening, I'm like, man, all right, already. Like, it's making me emotional. It's making me look in the past, and I still got to fight somebody on Saturday. And um, that's terrifying. I was kind of hitting those normal emotions, but I think at some point yesterday was probably my worst time where I was like, man, don't go out there and get beat up. So I just put pressure on myself, like always, but got through it.
And then just last one for me. Could this have gone any more perfect? Because like we talked about at Media Day, the Billy Q win was about as great as you can get. But, pay-per-view in front of the President of the United States, first round finish, family enters the octagon. Could you have scripted this any better?
No, I was complaining a little bit to the guys that I would have liked a little bit longer of a fight just because the exchanges, but I mean, I didn't really take any damage. He got me with a good one in the eye, and yeah, I mean, I'd be a real idiot to complain right now. Thank you, I appreciate that.
Cub, is there like a bittersweet feeling to it? Obviously, you got the victory, but at the same time, this is also the last time you'll be stepping in the octagon.
No, it feels great. I'm over it. I fighting is painful, and I've been able to have like a high threshold of pain for a long time and be able to ignore it and tell myself like, you're good. But I'm over that part. I feel like I've accumulated a lot of knowledge in this time span, and I feel like I'm better off sharing that knowledge with the next generation. I mean, I'm 42 years old. Sometimes I sit back and like, what are you still doing, dude? Like, get a job, do something else.
And some fighters retire and they always leave like the door open for a specific fight, or they feel great in the retirement fight, but it feels like you're done with it. Like there's no oh, but maybe this is it for you.
Yeah, I've had plenty of time to think about it. I was I've said this before when I fought Giga, who's a good friend of mine, by the way. No, I struggled about life after fighting, and I made myself a promise that I was going to start working on the next chapter of my life, and I've been doing that. And I built this amazing fight team, Bloodline Combat Sports, and that's my passion now. I really enjoy helping these guys do what I did and change their lives like it changed my life. So that's my new passion, that and my family. So I'm pretty content.
Yeah. Do you leave the sport with any specific moment or a favorite memory?
I mean, there's so many. The crazy thing about fighting is every fight is a different story, and I have favorites for different reasons. Obviously, the Duho Choi fight is my number one because if you heard me talk about it, it's an amazing experience. But there was fights that I went into injured. There was fights that I was the underdog. There, even some of my losses, they're special to me because they made me grow. So that there's like a lot of good moments.
Congrats on an amazing career.
Thank you.
Cub over here. Congrats on an amazing career. I saw before the fight, John Jones gave you a hug before your walkout. What was that moment like with one of maybe the greatest of all time?
I was like, hopefully some of that greatness rubbed off on me tonight. Yeah, I was in the zone. I had my head down, and I try not to let people mess with my, when I flip that switch, I don't want anyone in my view. And John just kind of got underneath me to make sure I saw him and gave me a big hug. And, me and him go way back from Jackson days, and we've been on some incredible cards together. So that was really cool.
Oh, you were great tonight for sure. And, you have your beautiful family here. What do you look forward to doing with them now that, you don't have to train for a fight?
Just be more involved with their sports. I feel like my time has been limited, and I'd like to just be more there. I'm there every day, but I'd like to have the energy to give a little bit more.
Cub right over here. So on the broadcast, DC had said that training and coaching the young guys can kind of light a new fire under you and kind of give you like more tools, more motivation. Is that true? Was that true tonight?
Oh, definitely. Couple things that people don't really know, but I've been coaching for almost my whole career. When I was in Palm Springs, I had a small little gym, and I brought up all these amateur and lower level pro guys just so that I could have training partners, and I would corner them. And so I've been coaching for almost 20 years. But my team now that I've invested in, I've got so many guys in the UFC. We're crushing it. So I thought it was funny because people were like, well, who is he training with nowadays in the last couple fights? But now you guys know who I've been training with: Danny Silva, Rafa Garcia, Le'Veon Douglas, Giga. Like I train with a lot of really good guys that people just didn't know about yet. So they've kept me up to par. So me still performing at this age is because of my team.
So you had your family in the cage with you, and they played a really nice promo package for a send-off. Did that surprise you at all? And just what was that moment like, being with your family and getting to watch that on the big screen?
No, I expected it, but I knew that it was only probably going to happen if I handled business. And I was just really trying to focus on making sure all those things came to fruition. But yeah, it's been an amazing night so far.
Yeah, so you end your career with the third most wins in UFC featherweight history. What does it mean to just have that accolade alongside Cub Swanson?
I'm very proud because as somebody that, didn't fight for a belt, I still made a name for myself. I did it my way. I never, had to sacrifice anything that I wasn't willing to sacrifice. And I'm very proud of my career. I'm very proud of my accomplishments. I've always been the same person. And I think the thing that I'm most proud of is that people got to see me like mature as a human the entire way. I've been fighting in this division for 19 years. It's pretty crazy.
Come over here. All these wars that you've been through throughout your career since almost 2011, did this final walk feel like relief, pride, or both?
Definitely both. Um, as you get older and you have a family, you don't want to take those injuries anymore. When I was young and had nothing, it was a lot easier to deal with. So you're a lot more cautious about that. Like, let me get out of here, not get hurt. Versus when you're younger, you're like, I want a war. Um, I try not to do that, but it's kind of my fighting style.
Thank you.
Cub, just one more question. This is somewhat of a cliche question, but I feel like it does make sense for the situation. Do you have any message to the fans? I feel like they were such a huge part of your career. They're always backing you, and you almost developed like a cult following over the years. Any final words for the people that have been watching your career for all this time?
Yeah, definitely. I just appreciate the support. Um, I really feel like I got a good chunk of my love at the end of my career and, towards the end of my career. And I really appreciated that because for a long time, it didn't, you don't always feel appreciated in this sport. And not everybody gets to have that. So I'm very grateful. And I definitely want to say that I wouldn't have done it without my old manager, Kami. And I'm definitely dedicating my career to him. Thank you, guys.